Guys, I've got to tell you, I'm really excited about today's video because I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to stimulate your muscles to grow. So if your goal is to build lean muscle, I'm going to show you that there's not only one way when you go down the gym that's going to stimulate your muscles to grow bigger and stronger, but there's actually 3 different ways. So we're going to use the bench press as an example, but you can apply this to any exercise. So let's get started to show you 3 ways to build lean muscle. Let's go. Okay guys, so we're in close. We're going to tell you the first way to build lean muscle. The first way you're going to build lean muscle is with something called mechanical tension, which in basic terms is your muscles generating maximal force over its full range of motion. So if anything, this is going to mean lifting heavy. As Deadpool would say, it's going to mean maximum effort. Yeah, so it's a nice way to say challenge yourself, lift heavy. The rep range for this portion is going to be between 5 and 12 repetitions. It depends where you feel that you're generating maximum force through a rep, because you may get fatigued too fast if you're lifting too heavy. So I'm going to go through. You still want to be under control. You still want to be directing the tension on the muscle you're trying to train, so you don't want to go too heavy, but you want to generate as much effort as you can in the set. So I'm going to demonstrate this now. I've performed closer to 12 repetitions and it's going to look something like this. Okay, shirts off. We're going to show you the tension. So what we want to do is keep those scapula back, keep the chest under tension. That's it. Nice, slow, controlled reps. Strong contraction. Keep that shoulder girdle back. Maximum contraction. Keep going. That's it. Generate maximum force that you can. Push, push, push. Push, push, push. Under control. So you can see there, we were generating the maximum force that we could. We hit failure in the set because we're using a maximum weight. We can perform that for 1 or 2 sets. Probably 2 sets is going to be enough, because we're going to move on to the second way to build muscle, which is another rep style I'll explain now. So that's basically how you put your muscle under mechanical tension. Now we're going to move on to the next way to stimulate muscle growth, which is called metabolic stress. Now what this entails is putting your muscle in a position where it really can't rest. So when we're performing a bench press, for example, we're not going to lock out the arm at the top, because that's when the muscle is actually resting. We're going to fall short of that, and we're going to keep pushing those reps out, and that's going to pull blood in the muscle. It's going to really what occurs when you get a muscle pump. So metabolic stress really is forcing your muscle into that pumped state where you really feel the burn. But I'll demonstrate now on a bench press. The best way I've found to force metabolic stress is to implement a drop set. So I'll start on a middle to heavy weight, reach momentary failure and drop to a slightly lighter weight, reach failure in that weight and drop to the next weight. Usually I use 3 to 4 different weights in this drop set, and it really forces the muscle to remain under tension and really take on a lot of metabolic stress. So let's have a look. It's the second way we're going to stimulate our muscle to build and grow. So again, very important. So let's have a look. Okay, so we want to place our muscle under constant tension. That means this lockout position we're not going to get into. We're going to keep the arm slightly bent throughout the set. Okay, so retract the scapula there and let's go. So it's still a pretty full range of motion. We're just not locking out at the top.
we're using a slightly lighter weight than we would for mechanical tension. So it might feel easier to start with. We're going for a higher number of reps. We're going to reach momentary muscle failure in this set. And that's because we're not letting the chest rest. The rep start is a little bit quicker. There we go. So if you hit failure, like I did just then, you want to go straight on to your next weight down. So I've dropped 5 kilos, still going. Still, don't look out the arms, keep that slight bend, keep that tension. I'm going to force the blood into the chest. Oh, it's going to be burning by this point. Failure on your second weight will definitely come quicker because the muscle's getting fatigued. That's it. Feel the burn. Okay, next weight down. We're not done yet. So we're down another 5 kilos. That's it. Keep it going. Keep that burn going. As we said, the weight it's going to be a very light one. Okay. That's it.
Alright, so we've put our muscle under mechanical tension by lifting heavy. We've now put our muscle under metabolic stress because we haven't given the blood chance to leave the muscle, which hopefully, if you've done it right, has resulted in a mind-blowing pump in the chest. I'm feeling it right now, but we're not done because we still need to move on to the third way to build muscle, which is, gonna sound a bit more evil than the other two, is muscle damage. It's how to create micro tears more readily in the muscles to break that muscle down, to stimulate it to grow bigger and stronger. And we're going to do that again on the bench press now to demonstrate, but you can use it for any exercise, how to perform a rep style that is going to initiate that muscle damage using a certain degree of tension on the muscle at the stretched portion and the eccentric descending part of the rep. So let's have a look. I'm getting back down on the bench now to demonstrate straight away. So now it's time to create some more muscle damage, and we're going to do that by placing the tension predominantly on the negative portion of the rep, which is the descending, and we're going to place tension on the muscle at the stretched part, which is the bottom part of the rep. So the way we're going to do that is by performing a slow negative. Now this is a perfect rep style if you do have a spotter, because they can help you lift a weight that's normally a little bit heavier than you can perform on the concentric than you could push. Now I'm going to be doing it with a slightly lighter weight because I'm on my own, but you can also do it on a machine, which is also easy. You can use one arm to spot the other, do one arm at a time. But as we've started with bench press, I'll finish with bench press, and so let's have a look. I'll explain as we go. Okay, so make sure again that scapula is detracted, so the tension is. Now we've got tension at the bottom part of the rep here, and we're going to push up for 1 second. Now we're going to lower in a very slow way, between 3 and 4 seconds, all the way down. Feel the stretch, push, back down, slow. This is going to be extra hard if you've used a weight that you can't physically push, if you're using a spotter for that portion. Now I'm not, but I'm actually getting some fatigue from the concentric portion of the rep. That's it. But you really feel that tension at the bottom. So stretch, and push. Each one of these styles of reps will have a very different feel to you. Excuse me. That's really a push noise. That's it. It's going to get harder on the concentric for me now. I could really use a spotter. However, I'm going to try and keep going. That's it. So, let's put these weights down. So if you're performing that with a spotter, it would be much more beneficial, because when I failed there, On a concentric, I could have had someone to help me lift the weight and lower them under control and under tension. So with a spotter, I'd be getting much more benefit out of that portion of the exercise. Alternatively, like I said, use a machine, use one arm at a time. You can spot one arm with the other. There's always options, especially if you're in a gym, or there are other exercises you can perform. Now, I've used the bench press to demonstrate that you can actually integrate all three of these styles into any exercises. Now, if I was training my chest, ideally, I wouldn't be doing a bench press for every single style, otherwise there'll be no variety in my workouts. But I will in the future go through some exercises which are really best suited for each one of these styles. But I hope that gives you an idea of how you can stimulate your muscle three different ways for it to grow. There is more than one way to skin a cat, but you shouldn't just be doing one or the other, you should be doing all three. That way you know that you've left no stone unturned, and if someone comes to you about your workouts, you know that there's no other way to get the benefits because you've stimulated your muscle all three ways. And they, let me tell you, are the only three ways to stimulate hypertrophy or muscle building in your muscles. So enjoy it, try and make use of it in every workout. I hope this helps. Leave a comment, subscribe if you enjoy.